Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of So You're Ready to Date. So excited to have you back here as we continue on our dating through the holidays. And today we're going to kind of switch it up a little bit and talk about maybe how to be single and how to respond appropriately and accurately, or however it in a calm and collected manner to family pressure or even maybe other pressure that you're getting to have a date, or when somebody comes up and has that really uncomfortable question of, well, you're young and you're attractive, why don't you have somebody? And so we're going to dive into that a little bit today because that can be awkward, it can be uncomfortable, and quite frankly, it can be a bit rude. And we all know that it's a bit rude, but our great aunt Matilda may not know that it's quite as rude. So we're going to talk about how to handle some of that.
Yes. And as much as we'd like to give you a list of like all of the best comebacks, this is really mostly about how to prepare yourself to handle the situation so that, a necessarily witty comeback, while it might be fun and handy, you're really better prepared to come away from the experience feeling empowered and really proud of yourself for handling it in a way that respected yourself.
Right. Respectful. That was the word that I was looking for about 3 seconds ago. Couldn't find. So thanks for putting that out there. So, starting off, the major thing or the best thing that you can do is have confidence. Have confidence in who you are and your status, and you are good enough without anybody else. So, I just want to put that out there. Hold on to this episode. Hold on to that little shining moment. If you need to hear it, know that Lisa and I are telling you that you are good enough as you are. You don't need anybody else to make you perfect.
Right. And, like Angie said, you can hold on to the fact that we believe this, not only wholeheartedly for ourselves, but for you as well. And, sometimes this might be a situation of where you fake it till you make it just a little bit. Maybe it's a matter of a little bit of false bravado as you walk into this situation, because you may not be there 100%. But if you're at like at least 80 or even 50% at this point, you're going a long way towards coming into the encounters, coming into this holiday season, being able to better navigate how we're talking to our families, our friends, work colleagues. There's a whole bunch of people who may not remember how to have like small talk. And so it's easy to come to these questions of like, what do you do? Are you married? Do you have a family? And I get it. These are fairly common and typical. But like Angie said, they're not always the most polite because we don't know what anybody's situation is. So we're going to help you get prepared so that you can come into these situations feeling so much more confident, whether you're there 100% yet or not. But preparedness is probably going to help that confidence up. We're hoping, right?
Yes. Yes. So how do you prepare?
Well, I think for me, I always it always helps me to remind me why I'm happy with my situation. You don't have to be 100% happy with your situation, but there is probably at least 10 good reasons why you're happy with the situationship you have, why you're happy just casual dating, why you're happy single, why you're happy in whatever variety or status or variation of relationship or not relationship that you have. And so, really, like we've talked about before, finding kind of your why are you happy with this? There's a reason. And again, we're not saying that you have to be 100% happy and, you know, agreeing with the situation, but there's got to be some good points to it. So really, whether that's journaling, whether that's making a pros and cons list, however you kind of process this stuff, is getting and finding and sitting in that space of, this is why I'm happy with my situation right now. And so that you can come in and be like, no, but I'm okay with where I am. I don't need anybody else's approval because I have mine.
Right. And whether you are dating and choosing not to bring your significant other, whether you are dating and haven't found the right person, whether you're taking a step back and pushing pause on your dating life, or whether you have a new significant other that you've been dating for a short time and they're not comfortable coming to meet your family, all of those things can be wrapped up in this is why I'm happy with my current situation. And this is why I'm choosing to do what I'm choosing to do right now. And that's right for me. And what that will help you do is put boundaries in place of what's open for discussion and what's not open for discussion.
Right. And I think I had heard somebody explain this brilliantly, is that boundaries are a map. They're not like a wall to tell people this is what you can and can't do. It's a map to how to kind of like relate to you, how you want to be related with. And so thinking of your boundary as an invitation to be like, hey, I'm happy to talk about certain things. I can go on and on about my career, can go on and on about my hobbies, but here, this is how we're going to navigate my relationship status. And it might be a no-go. It might be, okay, this is the forbidden kingdom. Nobody is allowed past this little mark. And maybe you have like just certain things you're willing to like name, rank, and serial number, be like, this is the only thing I'm going to say about my relationship. And if you keep asking, you're just going to get the same answers. So this is really about showing people like, this is all I'm comfortable talking about, and you pushing more and you being more aggressive and, rude about it is not going to make me budge and give you more information just because you feel you're entitled to it.
I love that it's a roadmap. And I also love the fact that you're talking about sometimes people push, and sometimes with their family, they feel like they have a right to push a little bit harder than we would appreciate. And so that's where, again, if you have those set boundaries and you know where that line is and you're clearly communicating that, you can also prepare yourself to be able to say no firmly, that it's not open for discussion. And it's okay to say, no, that's not open for discussion right now. That may be okay to say, hey, we'll come back and talk about that in 3 months. Or it may be that's off limits. And when I'm ready, I'll let you know. But until then, let's move on from that topic. It's okay to say those things. And it's also okay to excuse yourself if somebody is really pushing on a topic that you're uncomfortable talking about.
Yes, I think with family, and even with like business associates and stuff like that, especially as women, we are kind of conditioned to be polite and to not want to be rude to somebody. But if somebody is already being rude to you, then they've opened the door. They've started us down this path. And even if they haven't, this isn't about making other people comfortable. This is about what is comfortable for you. So it might be saying, hey, you know what? I've already said I'm not going to talk anymore about this. I'm going to go see if there's more cheese dip or whatever it is. Or oh, look, I have to go talk to so-and-so over there. So you are within your rights to be like, nope, I'm not talking more about this. And then, removing yourself from the situation so that there's maybe not in that moment more of an opportunity for somebody to push that boundary, to push you yet again, to see how far they can get you to go. Because when we put up those boundaries, the people who get the most frustrated by it are the people who are used to you just being like, yep, okay, I'm going to roll over. Ask me anything you want. I'll give you all that information. So when you start being a little bit more firm with what you will and won't talk about, it makes those people nervous. And so that's a them thing. That's not a you thing. Being confident in what you want to talk about, what you're willing to say is going to go so much farther to giving you the ability to be like, nope, done, leaving.
I want to go back and grab on a point that you said there too, because I like the way that you put it, that it's a them thing and not a you thing. Any way that somebody approaches you, any questions that they come and ask you, any way that they interact with you, that is all a reflection of them and not a reflection of you. You cannot control other people. You can't control their thoughts. You can't control their feelings, and you can't control their actions. So just remember, you have control over your actions and you get to respond in the way that you want. And pleasing somebody else is not your responsibility. As long as you are not being mean, cruel, vindictive, then their feelings about what comes out of your mouth is not your responsibility.
Doesn't mean they aren't going to try and make it your responsibility. But again, we can't give you all the advice for that. That'll be something you'll have to navigate eventually on your own. But in the event that you start having more and more of these conversations, one of my favorite tips is to have like those outside people who probably aren't at the party with you, who maybe aren't family, aren't coworkers, who you can, hide in that stall in the bathroom or shut the bathroom door and be just like, all right, it's getting really overwhelming. What do? I just need my hype people, and not necessarily to give you an answer, but sometimes you need somebody to be like, your boundaries are okay. What you want to talk about is fine. You just need those people to reassure you that what you're doing for yourself is okay.
Yes, absolutely. And it may be the bathroom, but it may also mean that you need just a few moments to collect your thoughts all on your own without anybody else. So having escape routes for that may or may not include the bathroom, but could also include outside. It could also include going for a walk if it's a long extended thing. It could include running some errands. There's a lot of ways. So be prepared and have a few escape routes pre-planned that you can say, "Oh, I suddenly need to go do X, Y, and Z." If you need a few moments to gather your thoughts, if you need an escape route, or you need to separate yourself from any particular situation when it comes to your family.
This is very much self-care. This is like the epitome of self-care in these kind of situations, is listening to your body, listening to when it's like, you know what, I think we're about to hit our overload. We're about to hit that maximum of how many people we can take talking to, how many of this bombardment we can take. So like Angie said, finding those moments where maybe it's taking, like I said, taking the dog for a walk, or it's a volunteering to run an errand. It's any way to kind of separate yourself so that you have some breathing space, ability to clear your mind, the time it might be to just breathe and just kind of gather yourself again, so that when you come back into the situation, you feel maybe slightly more recharged.
And so this isn't the winter holiday period, but let's talk a summer holiday here. I have a sister-in-law who is highly introverted. And we all wanted to go out on the boat, and we were going to spend the day out on the boat, and we wanted everybody to come. And she didn't want to go out on the boat, and she expressed that she didn't want to go out on the boat, but she was getting a lot of pressure from myself included. Come, it'll be a good time. We'll have a great time. You should come. You should come. It was a lot of pressure for her to do something that she didn't want to do. And really, we wanted the kids to go. We wanted her company too, but we wanted the kids to go. Well, what it turned out was she had so much people time during that because she's traveling, she's extended stay with family, and she was not vocalizing her needs. She just kept saying, "No, I don't want to go on the boat," but not why she didn't want to go on the boat. And as soon as she said, "I need a break from people," it was, "I'm sorry, let me take the kids, you go do your thing, and we'll go out on the boat." And so it's a matter of sometimes it's okay to say, "No, I need a break because there's too many people here." Even if it's family, even if they all love you, even if they want to spend time with you, sometimes the perception from your family is that they want you to be included, and maybe feeling like you're excluding yourself because you feel like you're not welcome. Whereas that was totally not the case. We wanted her to feel included, but what she was doing was excusing herself because she felt overwhelmed. And so sometimes it's a matter of, if people aren't listening to you, try communicating the same thing in a different way. Say the actual words and be okay expressing your needs and why.
Yes. And talking as like a highly introverted person, I get that. You're like, there's this part of you that feels like you're being invited because they don't want to leave you out. It feels like a pity invite in like the weirdest sense of the word. But when you say no, sometimes you don't have that ability if you feel like you're getting pressure from all sides. So, as that highly introverted person as well, if there is somebody who you feel safe talking to, maybe it's not the entire group, maybe it's like that one sister-in-law, maybe it's your husband or your wife or whoever it is, your sister, pulling them aside saying, "Hey, I appreciate that everybody wants to invite me. I am peopled out. and then letting them be the one to explain, hey, no, she wanted to go do her own thing. She just needed a break. Because I get it. It can be overwhelming if you've got like a group of people who are excited and really want to invite you and or want to do this thing and you feel like you can't speak up in the moment. Find that one person and be like, hey, can you pass this along to everybody else? I just need a chance to like not have to talk to another person for at least an hour. That would be amazing. And have them be your advocate if you're just can't quite get to that point where you could tell the whole group.
Exactly. I think that is great advice. And for those of us that are introverted, I am also introverted, but probably not to quite that degree. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it was crystal clear to me as soon as she said, I just need space. And at that point, you could step up, and whoever you're telling that to hopefully will become that advocate. I was able to go be that advocate and say, it's okay, we're leaving her. And we had somebody else in the family going, well, I'm not leaving her, that's just rude, we can't leave her behind. And there was some conflict there, but because she had told the right person, not that I'm always the right person, but because she had told the right person, I was able to be that advocate and go to bat for her. So I think that's great advice, that if you have somebody in your family that will understand, or that can be your advocate and help you out and step in and kind of fight that battle for you, take advantage of that when you need that break.
Yes. Because I think sometimes even the most extroverted extrovert at some point needs a break. So again, giving yourself the ability to just be like, no, I just need to do something for me, whatever that looks like. And, whether people understand or not, again, not your problem. Your problem and your concern is taking the best care of you and yourself.
And so remember, you are good enough just as you are. Your boundaries are important. You can have the confidence to say no, and it's okay. It's not open for discussion. You get to set that deciding factor. You get to be the deciding factor in that statement. And if there are any other tips or advice that you have that you would like us to share, we would love to have you drop us a line at soyou'readytodate@gmail.com. Find us on social media. Links will be in the show notes. And we will see you next week with an all new topic.
See you next week.